What you're about to see might change how you see the world. Something amazing is happening right in front of us, but most people just don't notice. Saint Padre Pio, one of the most extraordinary saints of our church, made a prophecy decades ago. Back then, many ignored it. Others thought it was something for the distant future. But now, his words perfectly match what's happening today. And the question no one wants to ask is, are we ready for this? In this video, I'm going to reveal this prophecy to you in detail. You will understand what Padre Pio predicted, how it relates to the present day, and what all of this means for our faith. And there's more. If you ignore this warning, you might be turning a blind eye to one of the most important moments in our history. If you want to know all about this prophecy and how it might be coming true right now, go ahead and like this video and subscribe, because this is something every Catholic needs to know. Now let's get right to it. To understand how important this prophecy is, we first need to talk about Saint Padre Pio. We're not talking about just any saint. Padre Pio was a man of God who experienced amazing things. He received the stigmata just like Jesus. He could be in two places at once. He knew what people were thinking, and he saw visions of the future. The church recognized his gifts. His miracles were studied. His holiness was proven. He was canonized by Pope John Paul II, who considered him one of the greatest mystics of our time. But what few people know is that Padre Pio also made surprising revelations about the future. Some of them seem to be coming true right now. If you are Catholic, you've definitely heard of him. But the point here isn't just who he was, but what he predicted and how that connects to our present. Now listen closely, because we're getting to the most amazing part of this video. Now comes the most amazing part. Saint Padre Pio made many predictions throughout his life, but one of them stands out because it seems to perfectly match what's happening today. He said the following: "There will be a time when men will live as if God doesn't exist. Corruption will be everywhere, even inside the church itself. There will be confusion, persecution, and many will turn away from the faith. The world will go through a great purification." These words were spoken decades ago, but are we seeing this happening now? In recent years, the Christian faith has been increasingly attacked. The number of believers leaving the church is growing. Materialism and relativism are taking over society. Even within the church, scandals and divisions create confusion. Now think, when Padre Pio said the world would go through a great purification, what did he mean? Was he referring to something that will happen in the future? Or are we already living in this moment? Many thought this prophecy would only come true centuries from now, but everything points to it not being quite like that. What if I told you there are real recent events that might be a sign this prophecy is coming true? Let's see what's happening in the world and how it all connects to the words of Saint Padre Pio. Now let's look at what's happening in the world and compare it to the prophecy of Saint Padre Pio. In recent years, we have seen a deep transformation in society. The Christian faith is under attack from all sides. Churches are being burned in Europe. Christians are being persecuted in many countries. The number of people leaving the church has never been higher. And what about inside the church itself? Scandals, divisions, and confusion. Many no longer know who to trust. Doctrines are being questioned, teachings are being watered down. It's exactly what Padre Pio warned about: corruption even within the church, persecution, and a turning away from faith. But there's something even more alarming. The idea of a world without God is getting stronger every day. Materialism, the culture of pleasure above all else, the worship of self. How many people today live as if God simply doesn't exist, as if he is irrelevant? This was unthinkable a few decades ago. And now we come to the most serious part, the great purification. What does this mean? Padre Pio spoke about a trial the world would face. Some interpret it as persecution, others as a great divine punishment. But has this purification already begun? Wars emerging in many places, political and economic crises, natural disasters becoming more and more frequent, fear, division, and chaos taking hold of people? Now stop and think, is all this a coincidence? Or are we seeing the fulfillment of Saint Padre Pio's words right before our eyes? And if this prophecy is really coming true, what does this mean for us? What should we do now? That's what we're going to understand next. If this prophecy is really coming true, what does it mean for us? What should we do? Saint Padre Pio wasn't a prophet of fear. He didn't want to scare anyone. He wanted to prepare them. He always said that prayer and trust in God are our greatest weapons. If we are living in this time of purification, it means we must remain strong in our faith. This isn't the time for discouragement, for turning away, or for doubt. On the contrary, it's the time to turn to God with more strength than ever. And here's an important detail. All the prophecies of the saints, including this one from Padre Pio, were never about destruction, but about transformation. They are a call to conversion, a warning that humanity needs to change before it's too late. So what can we do? First, prayer. If there's a time we need to pray more, it's now. The Rosary, Confession, Holy Mass. Second, stand firm in the truth. The world tries to twist the teachings of faith, but those who hold on to the truth will not be fooled. Third, trust in God. No prophecy can separate us from God's grace. The saints always taught that those who remain faithful will never be forsaken. So I ask you, do you believe this prophecy is coming true? What do you think about all of this? Comment down below because I want to know your opinion. If this video opened your eyes, imagine what you don't know yet. There are many other surprising revelations about faith that almost nobody talks about. So, subscribe now to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. Because what's coming next is even more impressive. And don't forget, share this video with someone who needs to know this. It could be a friend, a family member, anyone you feel should hear this message. See you in the next video.